All right. Do you want me to push it out to everyone?
Yeah, if you could in game, and I'll do the in Discord link. Man, I had so many messages. Like, I had a ridiculous amount of messages when I got up. Someone actually got a Twitch ad. Yeah. Oops.
There we go.
We'll give it a minute. Kind of want to show everybody like the CTF arena and stuff.
We can do that. We can show them around. It's live on the dev server.
Yeah. We can just show them the arena on the live one. I forgot to set up that little background that I had. Hold on.
Your dungeon.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm in the dungeon until I can set it up. Maybe we can do that by tomorrow. Make that like a toggled thing, or I can disable it. Let's see.
So tight, everyone. We're just arranging stuff
Yep.
live.
Yep. We're waiting for everybody to get in, and I just woke up, so I'm a little disoriented, and the usual. We'll go over the like last week's patch notes, and we'll go over what you're gonna see tomorrow, which is some cool stuff, some bug fixes, CTF.
Yeah, that's Keith's dungeon.
This is my dungeon.
Yeah.
Welcome to the dungeon. One day I'll make it cooler. Like, I'll put some torches on the walls and shit that, like, you know, some gifts or something, but ain't nobody got time for that. I can't find this file that I had.
What are you looking for?
Just, I don't know. I had this, like, black picture that I was using for the dungeon. I'll just use, or not the dungeon, the chat background.
All right, we're heading to the inn.
That's usually where I like to hang out, yeah.
All right. We're ready to go.
Almost.
All right.
Man, you're so antsy today.
I'm very antsy. I'm ready to do this.
Ready to do what?
Talk to the people.
Hey, I'm just gonna kind of ghetto it up and just throw in like my dungeon wall thing. It should be good.
This better be worth it.
What do you mean better be worth it?
You made everyone wait for it. This better be worth it.
Yeah, it's just a background for the chat so that I don't, show off like account names and GM commands and all this stuff that GMs like to stare at and stuff.
Mortal Sword says you need to use the term picture of color
Picture of no.
rather than black background. Hey, Lost Lions.
Oh, Kenny is here. Kenny, what's up?
Hello. What's going on, gentlemen?
All right, then what am I doing here? I'm supposed to be looking at numbers. This is strange. I shouldn't be talking to
No, no.
people.
It's
No,
okay.
this
I'll let
fine.
you. I'll unchain you from the radiator for a bit. You can come out of the basement, talk to the people,
Yeah, have fun with it.
and then when you're done, you get your ass back in the dungeon and you code.
Send help.
We're gonna hang out in the dungeon for a few more minutes and just give people time to get in here and stuff. Which one are you, Moody, in that picture? I'd say you're the one on the left.
The
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you choose between? Yeah, I've never really pictured myself as a lesbian.
Mm.
Who knows? Either
Yeah.
one of them works.
Yeah. So if you got, I don't know. I always forget that like we have new players coming in every week. So if you're just tuning into this and you don't know what it is and you got a link in game or in Discord, we do a weekly Twitch stream, from the staff to the players so that you guys can see what we're working on. We talk about some of the things we're patching, some of the things we patched, and we get some feedback from you guys on what the hell ever. So if you've got questions about anything in game, any mechanic, any function, any suggestions, whatever, you can post them in the Discord chat, or you can post them in the Twitch chat, and we will see them. I'm Keith, and I'm in here with Moody. We're the owners of the
Moody.
server. Moody does all of the code, and I do most of the player interaction. And then we've got Kenny in here, and he's just here, I guess.
Wow.
Just kidding. He's a GM.
He
He's
does
a GM
his
in the
own
game.
little Kenny thing.
Yeah, he basically runs around the server and sets colors on things. And I don't know.
When have I ever set anything on color?
Have you seen what you wear in game?
Yeah, my red ass GM robes with the Team Kenny hat and the cape.
Case in point.
Regular colors that you guys assigned to me.
Moody, did the in-game link not work? I didn't even test it.
No, it worked.
Fair enough.
It doesn't work for enhanced client people.
I see.
So the enhanced client would.
Yeah, how many
EA
of you guys are actually using is anybody in here right now using the enhanced client? Curious. We went through a lot of trouble to support it, and it seemed like we got a lot of support, for supporting it. Like everybody really wanted it. But like we looked and there was like 2 people using it the other day.
There's 4 currently using it right now. Very small number.
Yeah.
Story.
Well, here we are at the inn behind Brookbank. Look at that exotic dragon. I think it's sexy. I like that blue. Do you see now the little background behind the chat? I had to.
Why is it in here?
With the dragon?
Yeah. I thought pets were supposed to just stay outside.
Moody, are you not wearing your hat?
All right. Do I need to?
Movie's not even for his own team.
I want to see how many, like, we put these on the monthly donor vendor. We're curious. So we've got a team Keith, and the caption is "You on vacation again, Moody?" And then he's got Team Moody, working on quests yet, Keith? These are awesome. Show some love. Everybody knows that the bear mask is cooler. Just saying.
It is pretty cool.
Because my name's on it.
Allahu Akbar. Oh man. Start a stream and the Stroll show up.
Why did he want us to get in the channel? Well, we do this every Saturday night, so.
If you have any questions about
yeah,
how things run,
this
or
isn't
how they're going to run, or how they'll change.
Yeah, this isn't like a normal thing that other servers do. We do it once a week just to kind of touch bases with our players, so you can get sort of a direct line to staff and talk to us. We may even bring you into the channel if you don't have a terrible microphone. Moody just got a new microphone. This is his first stream with his new microphone. Say something
Yep.
sexy into it.
This is how my voice sounds.
Wow.
Is that sexy?
No.
Kenny, did you just wake up? Like, you sound like you just woke up.
Yeah, dude, I like just woke up. I had my alarms going off and I'm like, if I could just
I did the same thing, dude. I think I started the stream at like 3 minutes late, or like 2 minutes late. This is right on time.
Man.
I know, right? I was getting mad flack from Moody. Like, oh my God, where are you? Like, did the server burn down? He's like, no. All right.
You made
we're
an appointment. You made a promise to the people, and you need to give them what you promised.
oh, there's no promises here. And yeah, we're answering questions throughout the whole stream. So we'll show you guys some stuff that we've been doing, what we've been working on, and then if you have a question in between, we'll stop and answer them. Again, so I'm not getting PMs. I kind of ignored the PMs during the stream, so it's I won't see them. But if you post them in general chat in Discord or in the Twitch chat, we'll see them. Well, shit, man. Let's go look at CTF. Maybe you want to see the arena.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna go out of GM mode so people can get an idea of what this looks like.
Oh, hey buddy. Just gonna teleport to the other side of the table.
All right, so our first CTF we did like last week was a pretty bad failure. It was a test, and it was kind of a blind test. So some of the things that we noticed is that you couldn't teleport, which is like that's huge in CTF. So we fixed up the teleport stuff, and we cleaned up the arena too. So if you ever played DFI, we basically ripped this from them. DFI's not around anymore, and I don't think they have been for a while. But we had some players from over there, and he was kind of directing us on where to put things and how to do this. So usually the player will spawn up on this platform, and then right before the game starts, they'll teleport down here. This is exactly the same as DFI. Even the colors are in the same place. So you've got your flag, which will spawn up here. This is where you would capture and drop the flag. We made it so that instead of running over the flag to capture it, you actually have to double click it now. You can also double click the flag in your bag to drop it to another teammate or something, which is useful. This teleporter will take you up onto this platform, and you can drop down out of some of those locations. We did put blockers, like certain line of sight blockers in some of these places. I'll show you in staff mode so you can see these things right here. You can't see these unless you're a GM, but it basically lets you not teleport across there. I'll come out here. So we added some walls out here as well. These are spaced and these are spaced out and blocked sort of strategically. So We used half walls here so that you have more space to click down your teleports, so you can see like behind certain walls. I'm not sure if Got Spells can see the stream. Maybe one of you guys can answer him in the chat. Like I don't know if it's loaded for him or what. But anyways, these walls are half walls so that you can click, so you have a wider field of view, I guess. And then we put blockers here as well. So these little things here, you can't see these normally, but these block your line of sight. And so notice like walls of stone here will block the whole path, and that's sort of what CTF's always been about. Yeah, that's what CTF's always been about on Defiance, was sort of the teleport and walling strategies. So you could wall here or you can wall here and it'll totally block it. Same within the other base or inside the base. So like you could wall off most of these entrances, you can wall off the stairs. So usually when people do the CTFs, they'll have wallers, they'll have cappers and stuff like that. So this should be a lot more fun this time around. We also, Moody took some time to do some small details, like Moody, can you cast another wall of stone? So you'll notice that in the core mechanics, when you run into a wall of stone, you rubber band. That's just, it's a thing, and it's always been a thing. We changed this so that you won't rubber band. It's not live yet. This patch will come out tomorrow, but next time it'll run into like a normal wall like this. So you won't rubber band, which is annoying. We're going to be running...
Cadet is asking about horses. Mount. He's asking about mounts and CTF.
The mounts are optional. Normally we'll turn off the mounts, I think, for this style of arena. So, but they're optional. We can turn them on and off, just like in a tournament, how you would have like a 7x one week and a 5x next week. We can change the rule set on the fly. But I think in most cases with this arena, we're going to turn off the mounts. Somebody asked if this stream is going to be on YouTube, and yes, these will always go on YouTube after they're done. They'll usually show up about an hour after the stream, so that you can go and catch them. There's some up there right now in case you're new and you haven't seen the last few. They're up there. On launch day, I think we did like a 7-hour stream, so have fun watching that. But anyways, we'll usually do the two team CTFs. So you've got red and black. These are the teams that we're probably going to be running for the start of it. And then as the player base grows, we'll start to do like 4-team CTFs. We were talking about doing like CTF leagues where people sign up and actually make a team. That'll probably come shortly after CTF. So this patch that's coming out tomorrow is all about the CTF. We want this to feel good. We want it to look good. We want you guys to have fun with it, and this is how we're gonna do it. I know you did a lot of stuff in the background on the CTF, Moody. If you want to talk about any of it, go for it.
Nothing really changed too much. We give reward points instead of items as prizes. So there'll be a reward point vendor, which I'm sure Keith will talk about pretty soon.
Now I will.
And you get, I think the default we've set it to is 3 for the winners and 1 for the losers. So you get points for trying, and you'll be able to spend those on some items that we've been working on this past week.
Yeah, I'll go over the reward points so that everybody can, because I've been talking a lot about reward points and the reward point vendor and what's going to go on them and all these things. And I haven't been very clear on that. And the reason I haven't been very clear is because it's not done yet. So we added a system called reward points, and we consolidated it so that they're rewarded through various means. So previously in CTF, you would get like PvP points or something. You would get a different set of points. And then for quest, you would get quest points. We decided to just consolidate all of it into one thing. I'm going to answer this question real quick. Somebody asked, is CTF free supplies and templates? And the answer is yes. We have a pretty good.
Also, we can turn that off as well, so it's all optional.
The template system is pretty cool. Instead of just selecting like a specific set of skills, like going in and tick boxing all 7, you get some pre-made templates. So you'll have the option between like decks or like warriors, mages, stuff like that, and then you open that up and it opens up a sub menu. And in that sub menu, you'd pick like, do I want to be an alchemy mage? Do I want to be a stun mage? Do I want to be a scribe mage? And you pick one of those. So it's much easier to hit it all on the fly. When you pick your template, you get a loadout consistent with it as well. So if you were to go for an archer, you would get a bow and a crossbow and arrows and bolts and stuff. And then after the battle is completed and everybody gets kicked out, all of your skills, stats, and items will be cleared off and restored back to what they were. And then you'll get pushed out to the duel pits. So about the reward points, so we consolidated a bunch of stuff into reward points, and we're just going to use them as sort of a global currency rather than like a coin that you trade, or like instead of having different points for different things, we just have one thing and it's reward points. And those are earned through various different means, which I'm sure we'll add upon over time. Currently, you'll earn reward points for doing PvP events. So every time you run a CTF, every time you do like a team deathmatch, which will come shortly after CTF, you'll earn points, and it's like 3 for a win and 1 for a loss. So you'll get points even for participating. We also have the daily quests, which I'm slowly adding them. I'm adding like 1 a day right now just to kind of get my feet wet with it. There are currently there are currently, I think, 9 dungeon daily quests to kill mob bosses, or dungeon bosses. So like Pontus, I'm sure you've seen him in Despise. He's difficult. When the point system gets released, those bosses are going to be bumped up to probably 3 points. So like every time you complete that quest, which is on a 22-hour cooldown, you'll get those points, and you can collect them, and then at some point when you have enough points, you'll be able to buy the things that you want to buy from the reward point.
If you hit your quests tab, you can check how many credits you have right now. So if you hit the quests, it'll say current points, which are your quest points. They're not really applicable. And then available credits, and that'll go down when you spend them.
Right. So since they can see my screen here, this is your current points, and this isn't really your score here. This is more of a visual score. Your credits are right here. So I have 7 credits because I completed these quests. And then there's a quest completed thing too, and you can also see the top players on the shard by guild and stuff like that. This is just an extra feature. But from this window, you'll be able to see your thing here. I think that there's also a command. Maybe, I don't know if you can access it as a player. Let me try, but I think it's just reward points. Yep, totally. So you can see your reward credits available equals 7. So that's how reward points are going to work. We've been talking about offering like a passive online gain to reward points, like 1 point every 12 hours, just to kind of give some incentive to staying online and playing more often. It's not very significant, but they can add up. So you've got all these different ways to earn the reward points, and then there will be consumable items on the reward point vendor. Right now, I don't know, maybe Moody, can you like maybe go to Green Acres and find that stone and then bring me to it so I don't have to trudge through Green Acres on this stuff?
All right.
So these are just some examples of the things that will go on the vendor when I get there.
I don't know where you've put it.
It's just up to like the north.
Oh, there it is. East to the east, right? No, this one's different. I don't know where it is.
All right, I'll just go there. Hold on. Oops. Just ignore everything you see. All right. So this is the reward points vendor. And what we did was we put special die tubs on here with charges so that hues and stuff are actually, I guess, semi-rare rather than just floating around everywhere on the server. So when you get enough reward points, you'll be able to get like a leather die tub, and it'll have like 25 charges. The reward points are easy enough to earn, so you'll get a lot of reward points. It just sort of bottlenecks how many things get spit into the game. So people are actually going to have to go out and do things to get these points, and then... Oh, right, my bad. My wall was covering up the... I did that last time too. I went back and watched one of my streams, and I did the same thing. I was like, yeah, so then you click here and here, and like it was totally behind my chat window. But you can ignore the cost right now. This is just sort of a few things that will be on here. So, here are the die tubs. You've got the statuette die tubs, the runebook die tubs. I think that I might add occasional statuettes on here. The point here was that everything was consumable. There's a bag of seeds. I think it comes with 9. There's green thorns, there's ID wands, tribal paints, orcish kin mask, orange petals, and all these things are consumed over time. We'll be adding more to these too. We're just talking about adding the special woods and runic fletching tools, but yeah. So there's some people...
Do you want to talk a little bit about the runic fletching tools?
Not really. Not really, no.
Okay.
Well, okay, so let me just... People are rudely, the normal people are doing their thing, so I'm going to open up the... our page here and pull up our patch notes and go over some of the bug fixes as well. We're focusing on the features, and usually what we do is we consolidate all the bugs, and we focus on one major feature. In this patch, it's mostly CTF and kind of the reward points, which we've been working on in the background. But we also fixed a bunch of bugs. So I'll go over what we fixed, and let me find it first. Okay, so there was a bug where corpses, I guess the like when a mob or a person dies, their body decays into bones, and they weren't going gray soon enough. So those timers were offset, and that's been fixed. So now when a player dies or a mob dies, the corpse won't be blue as long as it was. That's kind of a big deal. We discovered that in last week's stream during the CTF, and it has been fixed. Hang on one second, guys. So we also fixed the head decay timer. Hold on. Sorry, I got a lot going on. All right, we fixed the head decay timer on the bounty system. When we were testing the bounty system when we first released the server, we set the decay time for a head to 1 minute to check to see if it worked, and we do that a lot. We set it to something really absurdly low just to see if the timer itself is working. We forgot to change that back. and the head decay timer is supposed to be an hour. And how that works is if you were to cut the head of a red who has a bounty on him, that head would usually decay in an hour, and then you wouldn't be able to turn it in anymore. And that's just to prevent people from collecting like a whole bunch of, people's heads in a bag and then one day just statting them into oblivion. So we fixed that as well. So that's back to an hour from 1 minute. There was a bug reported to us it was a command in game that would like debug a character or troubleshoot a character and sort of fix them, and it had the ability to pull people's pets to them, amongst other things. So what we did was we just went into the player commands and we double checked them and made sure that anything that was not supposed to be there isn't anymore. I know you guys are gonna love this one. We added a CAPTCHA to Anks because people are, and when I say people, I mean like a lot of people are doing this. They're running macros on Anks next to a group of monsters to gain resist. And while macroing in that fashion isn't really against the rules or anything, macroing resist is like, it's a huge sink on regs throughout the server. So we don't feel like in the future it would be good to have everyone doing that. So we put a CAPTCHA on it. It works just like our crafting system. I mean, you can still potentially macro Ank reses. It's just you're not going to be able to do it like overnight completely AFK. So when you res from an Ank, you're going to need to punch in the CAPTCHA every once in a while randomly. There was if you happen to have bought one of the crystal portals, it had a debug message on it from when we were testing those during launch, so that's been removed. Keep in mind that this stuff isn't live until tomorrow, by the way. This was a huge one. This was reported by someone named Shroom Doom. But, and I have no idea why this ever existed, but people can meditate through spell casting. So, that's been fixed. I'm going to scroll through the chat before I keep going. Hold on, I don't want to get too far behind.
Sean BR is saying that we just nerfed anyone that's starting as everyone else has already GM'd resist. I understand where that comes from, and it appears that the people who have GM'd resist already through this method have received a bit of an advantage, but using that as a reason to keep something that is causing a lot of issues for us, because it's not just sucking away. It's not just letting people skip using resources. It's also causing a significant amount of lag and crashing players close to where it is. So keeping that around just because other people have used it, I can't.
That's the thing too. Is everything that we're fixing right now is for the sake of the long term, life of the server. So people are going to find bugs, people are going to find exploits, and we just have to fix them as we go. And while, somebody got away with it for a week or whatever, it means that people won't be able to get away with it for a year or 2 years or however long.
You can say the same thing about the cotton during the first week, when that was priced outrageously on vendors, on the NPC vendors.
Right. It's one of those things where, and I know people are going to scoff at me, but like we're doing it for your own good. Because if everybody's doing that, then regs aren't going to have as much of a value as they're supposed to. It's a gold sink, it's a reg sink. If everyone's GMing resist AFK overnight without spending a dime, then it's not. I mean, it's not realistic. Scroll through some of these other messages real quick.
They're asking if we can counteract it by removing the 20% house penalty. You're generally safer in a house, so by allowing people the same opportunity of gaining anywhere, including the house, they'd always pick macroing inside a house. And that also, I guess, using the same logic as before, would end up disadvantaging new players who don't have a house themselves. But I mean, you end up paying the cost of being in a house, so you're a bit safer, but it costs you a little bit more to GM that skill. So that's where the being inside a house is safer needs the 20%. Yeah.
I'll carry on with the patch notes. So there was a minor thing. You couldn't replace a trash barrel in a house, so you had to chop it in order to replace it again. We fixed that so that you can double spam the command and move the barrel. We removed ancient pottery fragments. They were dropping off of air elementals. They're completely useless. They're in their loot table for whatever reason. The ones that exist in the game, you can keep them. They're not going to do anything. There was an issue with plants. Donald Trump brought this to my attention. He was growing some plants, and by day 2, they haven't hit stage 2 yet. So we looked at the code, we looked at statics, and it turns out that the growth check timer on plants was set to do a growth check on a server restart. And OSI used to restart every day, and we only restart once a week if we can help it. Heavy emphasis on if we can help it. So that's fixed too. So plants should be growing properly after the restart.
The checks happen on every world save.
Yeah, sorry.
There was someone saying, what's there to prevent getting a big bounty and then using an alternative character to turn in the head and claim the bounty?
That's actually totally viable, and people can do that. The thing is, they take stat loss. So, I mean, if they want to, they can. If they want to try to survive longer, I don't know. The system wouldn't work if stat loss wasn't there. So if somebody gets a bounty on their head, they can choose to collect it on themselves if they want to, but they're going to take the stat loss penalty for it. So it's up to the players to set those bounties. It's out of our hands. So honestly, like, you can set a 5K bounty, you can set a 1 million gold bounty. I think it's safe to say that a red is going to get his head cut regardless. Right?
Give it enough time.
Yeah. I mean, people are cutting heads a lot. I think that based on what I've seen, like just scrolling around through players, there's a lot of reds. Like, there's a lot of reds rolling around. I want to say it's where the PvP is right now, is red versus blue fights. It's not bad. Like, people hear the word stat loss and they start to panic. I've seen a single person get statted. He still plays. He didn't quit the server or anything. He didn't log out. It drops you down to a maximum of 15%. So you'll never go below 75 skill.
No,
I always explain this wrong. I know.
You'll never get more than 15% stat loss in one go of stat loss. So if you have 0 kills, you'll get 5% stat loss. If you have 50 kills, you'll get 15% stat loss, and then it gets capped at that. But your skills will never be statted below 75. So if you have 15% stat loss, but one of your skills is at 80, it'll go down to 75 rather than going down to wherever it would usually go down.
People were getting confused the other day in the chat about the 0 kills thing. Can you elaborate on how that works?
Well, the 0 kills thing is is when you put a bounty on someone, they can work off their short-term kills, but their bounty will remain until, I guess, they get hunted down. So they'll remain bounty hunted, and it means that even if they do go blue, they can still get stat lost because they transgressed against some player who was so angry that they ended up paying for it.
Let's see. Oh man, we're adding these cool things. It's sort of just a random idea we had. Hang on one sec. I gotta moderate, man. Can we have just resist, not get stat lost? The stat loss only happens to reds. To avoid confusion. And it's based on your kill count, and it's not extremely significant. It's significant enough to make you not want to get statted. It's not significant enough to make you want to delete your character.
And I mean, skill gain's pretty quick here anyway, so it's not too much of a punishment. I think it's pretty good, middle of the road sort of thing.
It's working. If anybody cares, like, we're watching it and it's working. There are reds. There's fights going on. It's not like I've seen more reds than we did before. And they're afraid to die, which is good. So I think that's, I mean, we still have one more night to code, and we probably will. So we went over the point system. We went over the CTF. We went over some of these bug fixes. There will be a lot of them. And some of these will need to roll over into next week's patch. But you guys have been pretty awesome. Like, I've been watching you guys play. I've been listening to what you guys have been saying. I've heard a lot of good feedback on, like, the exotic, rare, legendary animal system. No one's found a legendary yet, by the way. They're ridiculously rare. But people are enjoying those systems, and the rare weapon system. PvP's been pretty good. Factions has been lacking a little bit, truth be told. The first few fights we did, I think maybe like 5 people showed up, and it was like 2v3. There's a lot of Shadow Lords, I've noticed. I'm just kind of filling people in so that they know what's going on. I did notice some TB, not a lot. I think the majority of factions is Shadow Lords right now. So if you do join factions, I'd suggest joining a different one if you want some opposition. What is the player count right now, Moody?
Right now,
120. We're at 120.
yeah, we had a crash last night, so it's a bit lower than it should be.
That was fun.
Yeah. Once you get 5 short-term murder counts, you are basically guaranteed statted once you die. Is that right? Not really static sleep. It's if you get 5 or more kills, so long-term counts, and someone puts a bounty on you. They can only put a bounty on you if you're already red. So you'd have had to kill someone with more than 5 long-term counts, and at that point, yeah, you'll get statted, even if you have 0 short-term murder counts.
Let me check something real quick. So somebody's asking if that's 120 unique IPs or 120 accounts, and there's not an easy way to tell from in-game. We usually look at Discord to get a gauge of that, and there's about 90 people in our Discord right now, like actual people. Let me go back through. Oh yeah, so the whole woods thing, special woods, fletching kits. Um, I gauged the idea this morning with people sort of after me and Moody talked about it. Um, we wanted to add the rare woods to the game and make them sort of era compatible. And so the way that would work is we'd add like ash wood and oak wood and bloodwood and all those different woods. And you would need to have a lumberjacking power scroll to collect them. And the rarity, would be increased by the skill level. So at 116 to 120, you'd be able to collect like frostwood, which is the rarest. And the way that would work is when you have enough woods, you'd be able to use a runic fletching kit, and the runic fletching kit can craft bows with like the normal magical properties, like vanquishing and eminently accurate, and those types, indestructible. And the resulting bow would be based on the material used, just like it's exactly the way that blacksmithing runics work now. So, like, if you were to get a runic blacksmithing hammer, and you have like Valorite, and you crafted a spear with it, it would end up, resulting in like a pretty powerful spear, and that's how it is and has always been. So bows would work the same way. That's quite a rant there. No, I agree with you. Like, I totally agree with you. The problem is everybody wants all these servers to like come together into one server, but everybody has different ideas and everybody has different, management, and people have different staff and people have different eras. And so you can't really just pull everybody into one big server. It's not working. It hasn't worked. People are going to make servers.
Even the game Ultima Online, when someone says they like it, what they think of as Ultima Online is completely different to someone else in terms of mechanics and the way things run, and even game content. So, I mean, someone could say that they really like UO, but only Renaissance UO, and they'd be happy to pay EA to log into their servers, but the game that's on their servers is completely different to the one that they mean that they like.
But at the same time, like I agree that it sucks that all these different communities like are splitting people up. It happens and it's gonna happen, and I mean, we're here for the long haul. Like, we're gonna stick around. We're gonna actively develop. We're gonna do this stream once a week to sort of gauge how you guys feel and stuff. And we're going to try not to overdevelop too much. We're going to add like features and stuff that have low impact on the actual gameplay. Me and Moody do everything together. We work as a team. It's a 50-50 thing. And it's nice to be able to work with somebody that, we have the same train of thought. Different results sometimes, but we're on the same path here. I joke around and stuff and say like all he does is code and all I do is handle the players, but it's not like that at all. It's just, we do what we're good at, I guess. And I think that
our heart's pretty set on pre-AOS. I mean, we've jumbled up some stuff from TTY, some stuff from Renaissance, some stuff from before that.
But all that stuff is like
high seas and all that.
Yeah, those are mostly like convenience mechanics, like things that don't impact like the actual like damage that you're gonna do, or a spell timer. Like, those are things that we really don't like changing. We want like the combat and PvP mechanics to feel like Renaissance. But when it comes to like adding a high seas boat, we don't see too big of a deal with that. It's not going to change too much. It's just
but see, even that would be a deal breaker for some people. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, even even
Right.
though we're trying to stay within those bounds, but add a little bit extra features that someone would say that's too much. You don't like that. And then on the flip side, like going to an actual T2A, how things were, as soon as you start using Razor or Steam or any sort of macro program, the whole game sort of becomes a little bit more unbalanced than when you remember it.
Also, what you're saying about Reddit, though, while it's entirely true, I think it's safe to say that that's all that subreddit is servers advertising other servers. I don't think that it's a good way to gauge the community because most of the players who are in UO don't use that Reddit. I think people drop in once in a while and check it out, and they find a server based on things that people say, but it's not like a consistent source of information. It's a consistent source of the same information over and over. I wouldn't use Reddit as a basis of judging the community as a whole. Like I- I've seen some really toxic servers. I've seen really toxic players, and so far aside from a few, I really I'm not just saying this, but you guys have been really awesome. We've gotten some really good feedback from people. People are really understanding of certain things. Like when there's a bug, it gets reported. We fix it as fast as we can, but we only patch every Sunday. So sometimes it takes, 5 days to get it fixed. But people have been really cool. So thank you guys all for being awesome on You Were Revealed. It's been awesome. I think that Reddit is a cesspool, and also it's one of those things where you just got to find a server that you like with the aspects that you like and stick to it. Like this stream that we're doing isn't to promote our server. We're not saying come play your reveal because it's the only server out there. We understand that there are other servers out there, and if you don't like a mechanic here and it's game breaking to you, we usually recommend UO Renaissance, the server UO Renaissance. It's a
Great
good server and
server.
it's an honest server. And personally, we will point someone in the direction of a good, honest server rather than a populated one or someone who has a lot of different content or something. We want people to feel like they can trust the people who are running things. And the
UO
people
Renaissance is definitely one of those. Chris, or Telemon as he goes by, great guy. Talked to him plenty of times. He's helped us set all this up, or well, some of it. And yeah, great. Absolutely. If you find UO Renaissance and you have fun there, by all means, it's great. I'm glad you found that server. I'd probably be playing there if I if I didn't have if I wasn't running this one.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying with the division of the community, but at the same time, who's responsible for that? Us because we came later, or someone else because they came sooner? It's not as simple as as you're making it sound. Somebody asked about the Slayer weapons twice, actually. We have been discussing Slayer weapons. In fact, we want some ideas on what you guys think. We know that Slayer weapons are super rare right now, and we want to add an ability to either get them a little easier, not super easy, but a little easier, or craft them by some means. And we're open to suggestions on that. If we do something like that, it'll likely come in the next patch, not tomorrow's, but the next one. Unless it's something simple, we might be able to squeeze it in tonight. It's all good, and thanks for the feedback. We see things the same way you do. We don't want it to prevent us from making a server. We want to give people a different environment. It's not even about the mechanics. I don't think it's more about just the environment. increased drop rate for Slayers is an option. Yeah, we can. We also talked about crafting them with runic tools, or like adding a chance to runic tools. We also talked about like power scrolls, adding or increasing that chance based on the skill level. We've been tossing around ideas for Slayer weapons. But that's why we do this stream, so that we can hear what you guys want to say, and talk about it, in conversation. Slayer weapons do exist. They're not a myth. They are really rare. You get Slayers from the opposing monsters. So like, if you want I guess a silver weapon, you would kill humanoids. If you want like a dragon slayer, you would kill, what are those?
Spiders.
Yeah, I was looking for the arachnids. You'd kill arachnids.
Arachnids. And then Abyss and Fae.
Well, just so you know, we have thought about all this. We definitely have thought about the Slayer thing. We were just talking about it last night. We'd like to find an elegant solution to it before we blindly drop it in. We haven't had many complaints about weapon damage as a whole, just that there are a lot of misses, which I was talking about this morning in Discord. If you're just, if you're new to the server or you're curious, like, the best place to hang out is Discord. It's where all the staff is and most of the players are. There's, 120 people on the server, and there's like 90 of them in Discord. So there's more people in Discord than the server. But we were talking about at least the hit chance last night and stamina and stuff like that. We want to take a look at it and see that if, at the very least, if it's correct code, like if it's at least era correct code, and then we'll go from there. This is usually right about the time that we wrap things up on here. So if anybody has any more questions or anything, we either do a 1 or 2 hour show. And I would love to do some kind of event right now, but honestly, we'd rather get CTF finished first. So the patch rolls out tomorrow night, and when that patch rolls out, I'll post the patch notes on the forum boards. And you will definitely see a CTF right away. Like, we're excited for CTF. We were like, man, maybe we should just do it on Friday. Just reboot the server on Friday and just roll it out then. But we want to finish it first. And
Niz is asking about furniture dye tubs or kegs that auto queue based on the potion added to them. I like that second suggestion.
yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll think about that.
Furniture dye tubs, I think they'll be on the reward point vendor probably.
They will.
Yeah, we've allowed dye tubs to be charged, so you can have. You'd buy a dye tub with 5 charges. That'll require you. Yeah, so it's not just one dye tub that's locked down that everyone ends up going to. They become more of a, I guess, commodity.
Yeah, which was sort of the point. We have a lot of like custom colors on this server. I know you guys have noticed that, and we try not to make them too bright or too crazy. We try to keep things real Renaissance-y, I don't know. So you see like a lot of bronzes and browns and like dark reds and blacks and things like that, like grays. We don't use any neon colors or anything like that.
As you say that, 5 people rock up with bright pink.
I know, what is with your guys' pink? But we try to
pink dress on the vendor.
We try to avoid like the crazy bright colors. So you can kind of combine, like, what is with the bears fighting over there? Like, who is bear fighting? Anyways, we try not to get too crazy with the colors, but we do add a lot of different things where you can, like, we're all about customizing you. Like, we want you to have your own character with your own title and your own set of colors and, like, your own mount, and that's what we're going for. Like, this was the titles menu we added last week, and now people can actually see it working in game. So this is the new titles menu, and you can achieve these titles by doing the things underneath them. You can scroll through and look at all these things. Like if I have, fishing skill, I could be the fisherman, and I can uncheck this and show titles that I don't have. So I can be, Keith the entrepreneur by turning in 1,000 trade packs.
You did it again with the covering behind the.
Fucking A, I did, didn't I? Evertim. So you can scroll through all of your titles here. You can see titles that you don't have, or you can show only achieved titles, and then you can tick them, and that's what you'll be. So now I should be Keith the Alchemist. Boom. Yeah, it's a pretty fun system. So, and we also added like the Dreadlord title. So how does it work? It's Moody. It's your high fame, low karma, and if you hit,
high fame, low karma. Yeah.
Yeah, if you hit your high fame, low karma, you'll get the Dreadlord title instead of just Lord and Lady. Now you'll get Dreadlord and Dread Lady.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. But these are the types of things that we think about, and these are the types of things that we add. It's a mechanic that will not change the game for you in a way that it adds an unfair advantage or like changes PvP, but it adds a level of depth to your character, a level of customization to everything. And that's sort of the type of thing, like, I guess that's our train of thought, right?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Keith.
Sweet. Well, I'll give you guys like another 5 minutes to ask any more questions or anything, and then you can probably expect a stream tomorrow during CTF. We do the Saturday stream every week at the same time, which is, I don't know, what time, Moody? I don't know.
Saturday stream is about 1 a.m. UTC.
UTC? It was an hour ago.
Time.
We'll start it an hour ago every day, or every Saturday, if you want to see one next week, and we'll do the same thing pretty much. I've been tossing around the idea. I forgot to mention this. Me and Kenny, we've been tossing around the idea of a 24-hour stream. Like, load up on Red Bull, and me and Kenny, we're going to segment out a 24-hour show and just play regular characters. And you guys could, like, come play with us and, maybe defend us from being stream sniped. And
I'd just like to reiterate how bad of an idea that is.
I know. Moody hates the idea of a 24-hour stream, and no promises. Okay, I'm going to last as long as I can, but in all fairness, I did go like 30-something hours the other night, and I was rocking Rocket League by the end of it.
You were getting delusional.
I was delusional.
Streaming is different.
I was delusional, but that's okay. I think that there's a pink dragon protest directed towards you, Moody. Very specifically
Pink Dragon. That's not happening. Pink Dragon never gonna happen.
Wow, that's really, never say never. That's really mean.
Yeah, dude, that's a lot of people that want those pink dragons.
Yeah. I mean, you literally have like a protest, like directed at you. What time will the CTF be tomorrow? Well, it's gonna be after the patch for sure. Moody.
The patch is at 7 a.m. So 5 hours from now, tomorrow. So in 29 hours is when the patch will be. If that's...
We need a better time zone to go by. I hate UTC. Can we just make the time zone Keith's time zone?
No.
Like, I want the official server time. Hey, look. Wait, I want to see that weapon. Don't move. Boom, custom weapon. What do you got there? Severance of skill. That thing is cool. I'll talk Moody into the damn dragons. Just hang tight.
Them
Soon
chickens, though.
enough. Soon enough with the dragons. I know, right? This is like a Bernie Sanders protest. It's nice and peaceful.
They've got chickens there.
Thanks for the follows, guys. Yeah, if you I mean, even though we do the show every Saturday, we'll stream randomly in between them at times. So we'll do like a CTF and we'll launch the stream for like 30 minutes while it's running. So if you want to keep an eye on it, you can throw a follow and you'll see us go live when we go live.
Cool.
All right, I guess we'll wrap it
I
up.
think that's pretty much it.
Yep. So we'll see you all tomorrow when we do the CTF, and I will post the patch notes tomorrow after it's done. We're probably going to do a few more things tonight that I didn't list because we haven't done them yet, but there might be a few other minor bug fixes. Also, one more thing. If you did buy, like, from the Dono vendor, if you did buy something from the monthly one in the past, like, in the
No, if you
past...
bought anything.
Yeah, well,
in the
yeah,
past.
if you bought anything from the Dono vendor, a lot of things have a caption on them like this, and they're not transferring over to the vendor. We're going to fix that in tomorrow's patch, and then if you did buy something and it's supposed to have a caption on it, we're going to find all those items through a search function and globally fix them all. So you might notice captions on some of your Dono items tomorrow. Just FYI. All right, everybody have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night.